you have an arcade machine that plays all the consoles and arcade games in one place? In one package? No. I was actually just talking to my friends, though. What I'd really love is just like this black box where it can just play every fucking console ever, just emulate it, and do kind of what the RetroTINK does, where it can just upscale it. It'd be so convenient. Then I wouldn't need to like have splitters and shit for all my OG consoles. Just one big fucking box where I can pop a GameCube disc in, an Xbox disc in, just no hassle. And just play it on my fucking CRT. That'd be so nice. $1 million idea. Not really. That shit would get shut down so fast from all of these companies, bro. Are you kidding me? You could probably make one yourself, like a very bespoke one, probably, but you couldn't sell it. A PC. No, but I'm not talking about just like an all-in-one emulator. I want, because I've been a big physical media guy. Appreciate the raid, Moki. Hope you had a good stream. I've been a big physical media guy. So I want to be able to use my physical media really conveniently. So if I just had like one box that could just take all my fucking load of physical, it'd be so convenient. And upscale it like the RetroTINK does. Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be so lovely. You could buy a mini Linux PC, connect to your CRT, and just LARP the discs into a hole. Then that could work. You're onto something. Wait a minute. Didn't a streamer in China make that? You're talking about that content creator who made the Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation.
This Chinese YouTuber built a console that can run a PS5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch 2 at the same time. And here's the crazy part. Switching between the consoles only takes 3 seconds, but the process of building it is the most bizarre part. First, she realized that the 3 consoles together weigh around 10 kilograms because of the huge number of components. So she decided to create a single cooling system and a single power supply using a triangle.
Like, it's very cool. Don't get me wrong, it's very cool, but I need that wumbo. Give me everything. I'm talking fucking Sega Genesis in there too. N64. Turbo graphics. I'm talking the kit and caboodle where it could just take anything. The closest thing to what you want is the Retro Freak. The hell is the Retro Freak? Testing out the Hyperkin Retron 5 Retro Freak Quick Look.
In this video we're going to be having a quick look at the Retro Freak. It's an emulation-based retro system that boasts 12 different systems. I saw this in game a while ago and wanted to buy one to test our games on it. Unfortunately, Flea and Tapeworm don't work out the box. Flea doesn't work at all, but Tapeworm does work if you do load the mapper. The weird thing about this is that the actual console part is just this. It's just got 2 USB ports that plug these readers into. It has a DC out, not a USB. It does the job. It's pretty good. Also,
Kinda, I guess. Video below that's better.
Alright, so we're having all kinds of different time. But okay, beside the point, also I'm curious how this works. Some Street of Rage. But besides that, let's plug in a game and let's start off with a cartridge I can think this.
Okay, see, wait, we're getting somewhere.
The Retro Freak on my desk and plugged in every single cartridge I can think. Man, this is just looking kind of wicked, to be honest. This is an overkill of cartridges and looks like a huge monster at this point.
See, I like that. That's some good shit right there. That's some good shit. So now you take this and you wumbo it again. Then you give me some N64, you give me some GameCube, you give me some Xbox, you give me some Xbox 360. And by the end of it, I'll have a fucking giant box that's the size of my whole room. That is cool though, man. That is very cool.
Well, phew. Nevertheless, let's take a close look at this device. What can we do? How is the overall emulation? Because there's so much that we can test out. Alright, so we do have the problem that we have an error. Yep, we have plugged in every single cartridge and he doesn't like that. So let's remove those.
Oh, you can't just have them all housed at once and just switch between them?
Okay,
Fuck.
so let's take a close look at the menu itself. In here, we're finding the internal and microSD option for just... They come with very cheap PCBs in the inside. So, oh boy, look at this quality. It's really bad. But beside that point, yeah, will they work on the, let's say, Retro Freak device? The first thing I'm just going to be testing is the combination cartridge. I'm to have... Keep pressing the B button. Yep. It's very cool. Very using my
This is cool though.
Dragon Ball game. What? Okay, now it says.
I do fuck with that. Here, just rip apart the plastic. You don't get it. You don't see the vision. You don't see it. Literally just an emulator that fakes reading games. Oh, that's not the impression I got. I guess maybe it is, though. He did mention it emulates it, so yeah, I guess it just fakes reading them. But then in that case, why would it matter if there was multiple cartridges? It wouldn't change anything. You basically want a console that looks like the ultimate GameCube monstrosity with all the attachments. Let me see. Oh, here we go, like that. Yeah. Yeah! Fundamentally like that, yeah. Oh, that's some good shit. I think it'd go hard. Maybe it's just me, but I think that shit would go ballistic. It'd probably cost a lot to make, and you could never sell it, because I think you'd just get shut down right away if you're emulating more modern consoles. Well, not even emulating. Let's take emulation out of it. Well, actually, no. I would definitely want emulating, especially for, like, upscaling certain things, so, I don't know. There's a way. You could definitely make one. Kind of. You know, I'm gonna message Nick. I'm gonna see if I can pay Nick to do it. He's the guy that made the CSGO chair for us. He's the fucking goat. Oh, it's 1:30 a.m. I'm not gonna wake him up. I'll message him tomorrow. As long as you don't want to emulate the Switch, that's when Nintendo sends the assassins. Fuck them. We do the Switch too. Can you imagine? I mean, what are they gonna do though? Like, it wouldn't necessarily be emulating the Switch. I'd just have it housed in this monstrosity. And it would read the game like normal. And it would just basically do what it does now when I plug it into the computer. Wouldn't have to emulate it. The whole point is that I could use my physical media and conveniently put it into this thing. Oh, something I didn't even consider, though. Controller. Well, no, I guess it doesn't matter. I could just do one controller, one size fits all. Then I lose some of the charm of playing like N64 on the classic controller. There's some bugs we'll have to work out. Maybe we could also have the controllers fucking flying off of it like some kind of Lovecraftian monster. Now, a controller actually fucks it. Either have 30 ports or rebind every time you swap consoles. Yeah, that would be kind of tough. That would be kind of tough. FPGA is the answer. What's that? Field Programmable Gate Array. Flexible integrated circuit that can be reprogrammed after manufacturing to perform custom digital logic functions. How does that solve that problem? You know who's on your team for the Jinxie tournament? No, I think it's a draft. Unironically, reach out to Shank Mods or GingerOfOz. I'm not familiar with either one of them. Transforming a 90s Hot Wheels PC into a modern gaming beast. Oh my god, I remember this PC. Holy Toledo. Wow. What a throwback.
Hello, I'm Shank, and this is the Hot Wheels Sleeper PC.
Oh my god.
Absolutely top-of-the-line gaming PC crammed into the infamous 90s computer case. But what's even crazier than this monstrosity is the story of how I wound up building it.
This seems so cool, what the fuck? I haven't heard of this channel. Oh, they're not very active, that's why. Oh, wow, there's actually only 11 videos here. Damn, what a shame. This seems so cool. I gotta watch that whole thing later.
Hello, I'm Shank, and this is an average-size 27-inch cathode ray tube TV, also known as a CRT. It's almost 2 feet thick and weighs about 100 pounds. Up until the mid-2000s, most homes in the United States had a tube TV like this.
Goddamn right. I got mine right over there, the old JVC. That's 9 videos, Charles. No, 11. 2 shorts. GingerOfOz does similar stuff too. I built 5 different portable Wiis.
This is a G-Boy. It's a fully portable Nintendo Wii crammed into a case that's identical in shape to the original Game Boy, making it one of the smallest portable Wiis I've ever built. I think that this is one of the greatest portable Wii designs of all time, which would be a pretty tasteless thing to say if it were my own design, so it's a good thing it's not. In fact, all 5 of the portables I'm showing off today were designed by different members of the portabilizing scene, who have been kind enough to give me the opportunity to build.
How big is the portabilizing scene? I haven't heard of that before. Damn, he's also not super active. I built a PlayStation.
This is a piece of art titled PlayStation, a wonderful creation by artist On Dang. When I first saw this image a few months ago, my first thought was, huh, that's cool. And my second thought was, wait, I could build that. And the idea has been firmly lodged in my head ever since. There's only one way to get it out of here. I need to speed up the course of nature and carcinicize a PS1 myself. And this is our starting point. A cheap beat-up PS1 I got off of eBay. It's certainly seen better.
This seems so cool. I love this kind of shit.
This is a
Retroid game consoles are huge. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to these types of devices and emulating old gen games. I didn't realize it was so big. Hey Coder, good to see you, bro. I have the latest Retroid Pocket and it works great. Ooh. Retroid Pocket 5 will do good for what you want. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that does what I want. Not yet. It's got to be built. Yeah, see, like I'm not a portable gamer. I'm not a big handheld guy, but this does seem cool. And the big thing for me is the whole reason I want this is for the utilization of my physical media. That's like the big thing. I want it to be able to read the physical media. You're just gonna have to get the switcher set up AVGN has for his 100 consoles. I already have like a setup that works. I'm just saying, it'd be really cool if there was a giant fucking monster that could read every single game. Is every game console rolled into one? That'd be very fun. Bro, trying to build the Metal Gear. So I have mine set up. I have 12 consoles plugged into my office, connected to a switcher to my capture card. I think it's the best you can do right now. It is basically the best you can do right now. I imagine you use RetroTINK. Well, I guess it depends on what consoles. Make it as big as the first PC ever. Oh, man. We're getting into wacky territory. Imagine we have it look like this.
Bang! Hit it, Joe!
This is me putting in all of my physical media for my fucking Pandora's box of gaming. Cranking levers. Alright, now it's time for Super Mario 64. Yeah, Far Far West. I keep saying that. Far Far West. I will be giving a try with the boys. Such a thing would exist if there was a demand for it, but the ease of digital gaming has outshined it. Well, bah humbug, man. I know. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be very cool. You mean it should have like one unified disk drive or USB drives and then game auto switches? No, bro, that's like there is no way you could make some unified like disk drive to fit every piece of physical media. It wouldn't even work because a lot of them are cartridges anyway. So no, that's not what I mean. You just have separate readers for each of them, kind of like what the Retro Freak had. That was honestly like exactly what I was thinking.
Hello.
But just scaled up for more things. But there'd be no way to make a one hole for all thing. Wait, the Polymega might be it. The Polymega? Jesus. The Polymega. What an intro. That was cool.
Welcome to GameSec. Today we're checking out the Polymega from Playmaji. This is an emulation device that's been around for a few years now, but only recently have many of the pre-orders started to be fulfilled. Basically, it's a standalone unit that can play CD games for several different platforms, and you can also buy individual modules to attach to it that'll play your cartridge games and will let you use your original controllers if you like. The base unit costs $550 on its own, and each module costs $80. Not cheap, but I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't. Turbo module for TurboGrafx-16, PC Engine, and Super Graphics games, and the Ultra module for Nintendo 64 games. Powering the Polymega is an Intel Coffee Lake S CPU branded as a Celeron G4 900.
Man, this channel's production is crazy.
It has 2 GB of DDR4 RAM. It also has 30 GB of internal storage, and this can be expanded with SD cards or even an SSD. It uses a Linux-based OS and licensed emulators like Mednafen, Messen, Kega Fusion, and MAME. Inside any given module, we have fairly simple electronics that mainly serve as an interface for the cartridges and controllers. No game processing is done here. Powering on the system for the first time, you have to agree to a lot of different nonsense, and then you can set some things up. The unit comes with a bunch of pre-installed games that you can play, like Double Dungeons on the TurboGrafx-16, or Dragon View on the Super NES.
This seems
and
pretty
even the
cool.
Genesis version of Tin Star, among others. You can adjust things like the display area, which is quite slow to do, and it seems to shrink it vertically faster than it shrinks it horizontally. You can't adjust the axes independently. You can also choose from a resolution of 1080p and, well, just 1080p. I didn't feel like setting up the Wi-Fi as I had it plugged in directly via Ethernet, but it wouldn't recognize it until I rebooted the console with the cable already plugged in.
Let me see it with more modules on it.
Game basis. You can also quit and reset the game here. If you're playing with a real controller, well, obviously it doesn't have a Polymega logo button, so you can just access that menu by pressing up and start. Before you begin the game, you'll also have the option to install it to the system so you can play it without inserting the cartridge or CD. You can also apply cheats here or play it in the classic mode, which deactivates extra features like save states. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but there it is. Each of the emulators are pretty bare bones compared to what you're probably used to. There are no fixes for sprite flickering or any of that kind of stuff. The CD, Tekken 3 on the PlayStation, because why the hell not? Game menu. And it works well enough, I suppose.
Show me the
But
cartridges
what's
and
this?
stuff on the
That's right, the
Polymega.
HD temporal blur is bad. I like that they put the select and start button so high near the top though, but Pro of the Famicom game Sweet Home. Sadly, it doesn't work.
No!
And of course, the EverDrive doesn't work at all.
No!
Polymega can't access cartridges directly, only copy data from them, so EverDrives and other flash cards just can't work. Nor can the Famicom disk system if you manage to hook one up. Other than that, I find that this is a pretty good module that will work well for your NES games.
Ooh. Oh.
That's interesting. Not quite what I was looking for, but interesting. Needs to be more grand. This channel, though, that production value really blew me away. Dude had stop motion and everything. New to the Saturn, play these games first to understand why it rocks. 2 weeks ago. A Sega Saturn tutorial? Huh. This is just a classic YouTube channel. What a banger. What a find. You watching that Obsession movie on Friday? Yeah. You see the giant sinkhole that opened up in Utah out of nowhere. That was probably the Earth's way of protesting the data center, the 40,000 acre data center. Looks like the big hiccups these type of consoles have are with the cartridges. It works perfect with CDs though. Oh, well, that's good then. That's a good base. I'm gonna be honest now. I kind of love the idea of just like a really bespoke, over-the-top looking contraption. Nothing like sleek and sensible like this. I'm talking fucking demon size. That, like, it could basically be like the stand for a TV to go on. Then I start popping my cartridges and my discs in. You saw the video of the Utah senator slapping a reporter's phone out of their hands asking about the data center? Can't say I saw that. What a guy. The device is too dangerous. That's a risk we're gonna have to take. How's the farm going? Fantastic. Very, very well. Growing crops on the farm? Not yet. I want to start growing some sweet tomatoes at some point, though. Not sweet potatoes, man. I want to start growing some sweet potatoes. Have you seen the spec recommendations for Lego Batman? Are they pretty lofty? It's insane. Really? For Lego Batman? Let's see. Minimum requirements: 64-bit processor, operating system Windows 11, Intel Core i5 10600K, AMD Ryzen 5 1600, 16 RAM, NVIDIA GTX 960, 4GB AMD Radeon 6400, 50 gigs available space. Huh. What do you know? What do you know? For Lego Batman. Wow. And I think this is for 30 FPS. Yeah, it is for 30. So this is for 30 FPS. Holy shit. It also says frame gen is needed. Yeah, here. Pull it up. That's pretty brutal, man. That's every fucking game on the planet now. I guess every company gave up on optimization. Legitimately, every company just said, fuck that. Over the last decade, optimization has died. They don't even try. This game's map is bigger than all of Arkham games? Really? I didn't know it was so huge. You should replay the Arkham games. Well, I plan on doing that again. Do the eggs you grow on your farm taste any different than the eggs you buy at the grocery store? I love that. The eggs we grow. But no, I mean, they do taste better. They just taste fresh, that's all. And people are very excited for the new Lego game. I don't know. I'm not a big Lego game guy, so I don't think I'll be playing it, but people are pumped for it. That's cool. Hopefully it's good. The game is basically free flow. Lego Arkham. That's cool. What do you think of the new Yakuza trailer? Stranger Than Heaven? Banger. Big old banger. Growing any fruits? No crops yet. Right now, just the eggs from the chickens. LeBron 03 comeback. No, man. They're getting swept. That's GG. They will not win. If Luka was healthy, do they win? I mean... they'd certainly have a better chance. That's for sure. We might get the GTA 6 trailer and pre-orders on the 12th, so you might start the marathon sooner than we thought. The 12th of this month, as in 2 days, or you mean like June or July 12th? On Tuesday. We'll see. I don't think we will, but maybe. Alright, I'm getting kind of tired now. We'll call it a night. Tomorrow, it'll either be some bad games or some Dead as Disco. I haven't decided yet.